Hey everyone, Josh here, Wargaming Noob Historical, back with another read-through review, this time around Black Powder, Clash of Eagles. If you are interested in Black Powder and want to recreate the failed invasion of Russia by Napoleon, this is probably the campaign book that you want to get. It's going to have everything that you need to set this up as something that you're going to play for Black Powder. Usually these read-through reviews take a long while because I'm actually going to go page by page for the most part in order to show you what's in this book. But before I even do that, I want to do a quick summary of what Clash of Eagles is. So if you don't want to sit through the entire video, this will actually give you the bare minimum breakdown of what's in Clash of Eagles and what you can expect if you're going to get this for your Black Powder game. So first off, Clash of Eagles is basically set during the Russian campaign of 1812. The Grand Army moving into Russia to punish Emperor Alexander and the Russians for sticking it to Napoleon in their relationship. But in any case, what you can expect in this campaign setting is all the information, all the historical information leading up to the conflict, and during the conflict you're going to have your breakdowns of the armies of both sides, the Russians and then the Grand Army. The Grand Army itself is actually broken down with all the different nations that participated in the largest land army that Europe had ever seen to this point. So you're going to see not only the French here, but the Grand Duchy of Warsaw, Kingdom of Bavaria, Austria, Italy, Saxony, Prussia, Westphalia, and Württemberg, Naples, and all that stuff. You're also going to have all the new rules that are introduced to Black Powder via this campaign book. And then you're going to have a number of scenarios that will basically... You're going to have a number of scenarios that allow you to replay the entire campaign, or at least the set-piece battles for the campaign. They round off the campaign book with the breakdown of the army lists on both sides of the conflict, as well as their point costs, and an easy-to-read, easy-to-follow section where you will have all the rules that are associated with those armies, and that's pretty much it. So, with all that, Clash of Eagles is definitely a campaign book that you should be getting if you want to do the 1812 Russian campaign, either on the Russian side or on the Grand Army side. Gives you everything that you need in order to play out this year of war during the Napoleonic War period. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go through the read-through review next, so if this is good enough for you, then you can stop watching here. Otherwise, we'll just do a quick flip through and we'll go from there. So I'm just going to flip through some pages here. You got some great painted miniatures from the Warlord studio, as always. So this campaign book was written by Adrian McWalter. Again, it covers the Second Polish War, Russia 1812. You'll have your introduction right here about the campaign, about the history of the Second Polish War, and then obviously the content. So we're going to spend a little bit of time here. Introduction, you got your history, the road to the war, Battle of Borodino, the retreat from Moscow, and then a breakdown of all the armies that were involved in this conflict. Again, this this period of the war, the French fielded the largest army that Europe had ever seen, comprised of a multinational force, sent to invade Russia. So you're going to have your breakdown of the armies, the forces that are there. Armies of the Patriotic War, that's Russia, 1812. And then, of course, the Grand Army, which will include the French, the Grand Duchy of Warsaw, Kingdom of Bavaria, Austria, Kingdom of Italy, Saxony, Prussia, Westphalia. And then they're going to have information on the retreat from Moscow, the forces of the Confederation of the Rhine, the Kingdom of Württemberg, the Kingdom of Naples, and then a number of the new rules that are introduced in this campaign supplement. You're going to have a breakdown of the commanders of the Patriotic War, the Russian commanders, and then the Allied commanders, a number of scenarios, and then the army lists, as well as an appendix and bibliography. So again, as with all of the Black Powder campaign books, you have a great breakdown of this period of the Napoleonic Wars. The thing to note in this campaign book is that you have such a large amount of different nations fighting for the side of the French. So if you are not wanting to expand your French army in this period, you have a number of different options where you could field different armies from the different nations that comprise the Grand Armée. Okay, so moving on, the road to war, with just a brief description or information on what led to the Grand Armée invading Russia. So again, some wonderful painted miniatures from the studio. Here's some information on the battles of Shevardino and Borodino, with the map of Borodino here, at least half of it on this page, and then the other half, as well as the order of battle for both sides. More specific history on the Battle of Borodino. Alright, I skipped past a lot of the history behind this campaign. Again, the wonderful thing about these campaign books is it does have a lot of information about the conflicts, and if you're interested in the history, it's definitely a great primer for that period of the war. The next section here is the armies of the Patriotic War. We're going to go through the Russia of 1812, the forces of Russia. Again, some information and special, abilities. It isn't our fault at all command. The Russians were sometimes seriously found wanting, showing a little imagination. And again, that's shown through the gameplay by having to roll and see what kind of independence and decisiveness the Russian commanders would have. So that's an interesting way of showing the quality of the generals of the Russian army at this period. Information on the Russian infantry. Then the special rules for the Russian infantry: column of companies, double column of platoons, attack column, column of divisions, line, close column, references to the pages in the supplement where you could find that information, lie down, skirmish formation, rifle mix formation, and all that stuff. So again, a lot of special rules in this campaign book are only found in this campaign book. Here's some stats for the Russian Guard Infantry, and then the Russian Grenadiers. Stats for the infantrymen or musketeers, Jaegers, the Opolcheny militia, volunteer Jaegers, Opolcheny foot, partisans. Then you have your rules for the cavalry, right here. So they start off with information on the Life Guard, Cuirassiers, Uhlans. You got your Dragoons and Hussars, the Mounted Jaegers, Cossacks. Then we move on to Russian artillery. And again, this is just the special rules applied to the artillery. Got heavy company, light company, horse company, and unicorn company. Guard artillery. And that rounds up all of the Russian forces for this campaign book. We move on to the Grand Armée. Information on the French, the commanders, basically some special rules for the commanders, marshal's baton in every knapsack, infantry special rules and information right here. Stats for the line infantry, the light infantry, combined grenadiers, combined voltigeur, and then we move on to the French cavalry, chevaux légers lancers, cuirassiers and carabiners, chasseurs à cheval and hussars, French dragoons, Then we move on to artillery, with some special rules for the artillery for this campaign. Foot artillery, horse artillery, rules for the Imperial Guard. So you have stats for the Old Guard Grenadiers and Chasseurs, Sailors of the Guard and Engineers of the Guard, stats for the Middle Guard, the Velites of Florence and Velites of Turin, information on the Young Guard, Cavalry of the Imperial Guard, Imperial Guard Artillery. We move on to the Grand Duchy of Warsaw, information on them. You have the Infantry of the Grand Duchy, Polish Line and Chasseur Jaeger Battalion. Cavalry of the Grand Duchy, Polish Ulan and Hussar Chasseur. Then the Artillery. Vistula Legion. Move on to the Kingdom of Bavaria, Bavarian Light Infantry and Light Infantry, the Cavalry, and the Artillery. And Austria. So commanders, special rules, information on the infantry, the rules, stats for the line infantry, the Grenz infantry, Jaegers, then the cavalry, so dragoons and hussars, artillery, including reserve or position battery, cavalry, artillery. Then we move on to the Kingdom of Italy. So you have the Italian Royal Guard Infantry, their stats, the Royal Velites, conscripts of the Royal Guard Cavalry, Guard d'Honneur, and Dragoon Guards, Royal Guard Artillery, Guard Foot Artillery, Guard Horse Artillery, Italian Line Regiments, so the Line Infantry and Light Infantry, Cavalry, Chasseurs à Cheval, Foot Artillery, Heavy Foot Battery, and Horse Artillery. Then you have the Kingdom of Saxony, some information on that. There's the Musketeer Infantry, Schützen, Light Infantry, and Combined Grenadier Company stats. The Lieb Grenadier Guard Infantry and Jaeger stats. Then you have your Cavalry, Saxon Heavy Cavalry and Light Cavalry. Then the Artillery. We move on to the Prussians. Again, special rules for Prussian commanders and other rules for the infantry. You have your Musketeers and Fusiliers, Jaegers. Then your Prussian cavalry, which include dragoons, hussars, and uhlans. Your Prussian artillery. And we have the Kingdom of Westphalia, including some special rules for that kingdom. You have your Westphalian Guard Infantry. And your cavalry stats. Westphalian Line Infantry and their stats. Cavalry, cuirassiers, and hussars. Then Line Infantry, or Line Artillery. Next up is information on the retreat from Moscow, including a diorama by Luis Garcia Balaguer. Some wonderfully painted studio miniatures. Then you have information on the Confederation of the Rhine with stats. And then the Kingdom of Württemberg with stats. Cavalry and artillery there. Kingdom of Naples, again, special rules, stats, cavalry here, and then artillery. And then a collection of the new rules introduced in this campaign. 4 deep line, line formation, Napoleonic skirmishing. Information on that. Column of companies, double column of platoons, closed column, square, forming square from close column, forming square from line formation, forming square from column formation. I see a pattern here. A lot of square. Austrian division mass. Cavalry deep formation. Cavalry mixed formation. Lie down and dismount. Cavalry reaction order and half battery rules. Rules involving troop types. So you have your militia, lacking initiative. Russian infantry withstand fire fearlessly, but their own fire is badly directed. The ball is a fool. The bayonet is a hero. Then rules for engineers. Regimental artillery. And command rules. Personal qualities of commanders. Rules involving combat. There's a lot of special rules in this campaign. We're just going to scroll through them. And then rules involving the battlefield, including weather, which is pretty neat. Terrain, a lot of rules for terrain. And then we get to information about the commanders of the Patriotic War of 1812. You have Kutuzov right here. He's 75 points, has a staff rating of 7, and has some special rules attached to him. Kutuzov led from the back, or the rear, and that's showcased in his special rules. And then you have Barclay de Tully. He has a staff rating of 8. He's 100 points. He has some special rules as well. And then Prince Bagration, staff rating of 9, 175 points. His special rules right here. Then General Revsky, he has a staff rating of 8. He's 100 points. Then you have some more of the commanders with special rules, staff rating, and their costs. So we move on to the Allied commanders. They have Marshal Davout here. His staff rating of 9, 150 points. His special rules are in italics here. You have Marshal Murat, King of Naples. He has a staff rating of 9, and he's 200 points. Then you have Prince Poniatowski, staff rating of 9, 150 points. We have Renier, staff rating of 8, 125 points. Carl Philipp of Schwarzenberg, staff rating of 8, 75 points. Johann Adolf von Thielmann, he's staff rating of 8 with 150 points. Then you have Lecoq, staff rating of 8, and he's 150 points. Then you have more Allied commanders here with their staff ratings and point costs. Move on to the scenarios. You have the Battle of Saltanovka, the map, deployments, battle information, and then more information on how to run this battle. You have your order of battle as well for the Russians here, and then the French. Battle of Gross Eckau, again similar to the previous battle. You have your information there, your orders of battle. Battle of Gorodechna. I don't know if I pronounced that right. You got your map, the deployment, rules, and then the order of battle. A lot of order of battle here. You also have an alternative Battle of Gorodechna with some rules for the alternative battle. The set piece battle, Borodino. Again, the map, your special rules, victory conditions, and then, of course, the order of battle. The crossing of the Berezina. Which seems to be a two-parter or multi-part battle. Action on the eastern bank for Game 1. Order of battle. And then I would assume this is Game 2 here on the other side, on the western bank. Here's your order of battle. And then some information if you just want to play pickup games or pointed cost games. Some of the rules for that. And then you'll have all your stats in the last few pages of the campaign book. Here's your Russians. A breakdown of how you can build up your force. Same thing for the Allies. As you're working through this, your stats, how to build up your force. And again, these are for pointed cost games. Rules for the Imperial Guard. So you can field that as a separate force. There's your force build right there, or your army build. The Vistula Legate. Grand Duchy of Warsaw, if you want to play the Polish. And basically the Confederation of the Rhine, so if you're playing Germans during this campaign. The army list. Quite a few different nations under the Confederation of the Rhine. You have your rules for Austria and their point costs. Your army builder. And of course Italy. And then Naples. Then lastly, Prussia. And then just basically an overview of Napoleonic warfare. This is included in all of the campaign supplements. Here's a sample division. Show you the structure of the armies. And this is just general information for Black Powder itself. And that's pretty much it. So that's the end of the read-through. Again, we went through it pretty quickly. If you have never purchased or received any of these campaign books, this is just a general breakdown of what's in them, what you can use these for. If you are building a specific Napoleonic army for Black Powder during a specific time period, then the campaign books are a wonderful way to get your orders of battle done. You can build up from there. Again, there are special rules tied in to each supplement for that period of the war. So if you want to play a specific nation in a specific period of time during the Napoleonic Wars for Black Powder, then getting one of these campaign books is the best way to do that. As you can see, Clash of Eagles is kind of a special one in that it does have the largest version of the Grand Armée fielded for battle in this campaign, and you have quite a few options in building your Napoleonic army, picking and choosing from the nations that you want to play with. This is probably one of the most widespread campaign books available that'll allow you to choose different nations. So if you don't want to play the French or the Russians, you can certainly play Confederation of the Rhine, the Prussians, Austrians during this period, the Kingdom of Italy and Naples. So if you're looking for something a little bit different, definitely look at Clash of Eagles as a supplement you want to build your army from. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and click like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate it if you would. Click the bell notification icon to get notified of all new Readthrough reviews coming out of the channel, and then click the link in the description below to join our Discord server. That's the best way I can personally interact with you and chit-chat you about Black Powder and any other game that I cover on the channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more Readthrough review from Wargaming Noob Historical.